Heard the clink. There's the clink. We're live.
We're live, everybody. What's up? What's up, everyone? This is Brian Jones from the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I have some rock stars with me, and we want to just make a quick little hangout and just talk about the easiest sell system. And we have Brandy here. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
We got Devon from Atlanta.
Hello.
All right. All right, so on your mic, but you're good to go. So, Brandy, can you tell a little bit more about yourself, what you do, and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was like one of those impromptu. I just happened to be sitting there when he posted the link, and I was about to come on here and give him grief, you know, being the Hangout queen and all. If he was on a Hangout without me, I'd have to kill him. We were talking about that. So basically my claim to fame right now is I'm dubbed the Hangout marketing expert, not to be confused with Hangout expert, as I am not a tech guru. So more I teach people how to use Hangouts in strategy to build their business, to grow their list, and obviously to make money, which is what we all want to do at the end of the day. And so pretty much that's my current claim to fame.
Nice, nice, excellent. Devon, tell the world about yourself. Where are you from? What you do, good stuff.
My name is Devon Brown, and I have been marketing online since 2001. Note, I have not been marketing successfully since 2001. I've been marketing 2001. I'm actually a better dancer than I am a marketer, and if I could choose anything, I'd just be out there just popping and locking and dancing. But I'm getting older now, so I can't do that as much. So this internet marketing thing is a good fallback in. And what I do is I create systems for people who are like me, and that is to say that it's hilarious that I make my money online and I have no clue how any of this internet stuff actually works. So I create systems for people like me who are maybe new, or not new, but who are not tech savvy and who frankly don't want to be tech savvy. So that is my shtick.
All right, cool. I like that. Tega, you there?
I am here, yeah. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Hey, I'm glad that you logged on, man. That's what's up, man. I'm Brian, out of DC area. We have the lovely Brandy. We got Devon, and what we want to do is first is introduce you. Tell folks where you're from, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Awesome. My name's Tega. I'm from England in the UK, and I guess I would say I'm an internet marketer. That's the simplest way to describe what I do.
All right, good. Well, thanks for coming. And as you can see, we're from different places in the world. So that's awesome. So
that's why you got to love Hangouts, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere getting together, sharing ideas.
Exactly. So the point of this Hangout is really just talk about the easiest sell system review. And before we even do that, I want to really dive into what drove each and every one to choose the direct sales industry. And we're going to let's talk about the real stuff. Talk about like the struggles, like how you overcame it, why, like what's the best advice you give someone that's new, and then we can talk about the easiest sales system. So let's kick it off to Brandy. So Brandy, how long have you been in direct sales?
Well, I've been not really in direct sales. I've been in marketing and public relations for about 20 years, more traditional, you know, big corporate clients, that type of stuff. And then I got into internet marketing probably a couple of years ago. So, and then I tripped into Hangouts, and so that became my niche, and it was really one of those, I tripped and fell into it. Some people call me lucky, the quote-unquote overnight success. I'm like, yeah, it took me 20 years, but yeah. so you know, it was really you know, preparation, you know, plus opportunity equals luck, right? So as we know, it takes a lot more work than just yay claiming your sign. So, and then I just applied what I knew about marketing and strategy to Hangouts, and then that's how I kind of got on the map.
Awesome. Devon, kick it to you. I'll pass it to you.
Yeah. What was the question?
How long have you been in direct sales?
The question is, can you dance? Is really the question. No, I'm teasing.
I've been in this industry for about 14 years now. Not full time. you know, I started off like I said, in 2001, and you know, I had a job while I was doing it. You know, I did it very, very part time. I actually ended up going and working for a guy named Matt Basak in 2005, who's a pretty big internet marketer, and I was his top sales guy. And then I broke away from him in about 2008, 2009, and started really doing my own stuff. So that's been it. It's been, you know, this game very often is, for me at least, it's been, you know, you get to a certain level, and then you do what you can to push yourself to the next level after that, and so this game is a constant. You're constantly growing. You're constantly learning, and that's what my experience with it has been. Yeah, I'm not sure if I answered the question, but I like talking, so that's good.
No, that's good. That's good. Tega, how about you?
I guess it all started whenever I was I just turned 18, and like in true family tradition, my dad woke me up that morning asking me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said I wanted some money. I was like, well, what are you gonna do with money? I looked at him and I laughed. And then for a second I got serious and I said, I'm going to invest it. And he said, well, what are you going to invest it in? And I told him I was going to invest it in myself. He laughed at me. He gave me my lunch money for the day and he gave me my birthday money. Ever since that day, I kind of had like a chip on my shoulder because I wasn't annoyed, but I was a little bit confused as to why he would laugh whenever I said I wanted to invest the money that he would give me for my birthday. So I started looking into things that I could do myself, ways that I could bring money in myself, take it in from there. During my looking and finding, I think I've gone through the route that everybody went through, whereby I found internet marketing. I ended up buying a ton of products, not really doing anything with it. And it wasn't until about maybe 3 or 4 years ago that I started to get really, really serious with it and actually start implementing the stuff that I was learning, because I realized over the years that I amassed quite a ton of information that could change someone's life if only that person would take action and do something with it. And I decided, why not be that person? And that's really how I got where I am today.
That's awesome, man.
Excellent.
This is great though, because everyone have a different story, you know. And the thing is that we have the common goal, which is to be free, for us to call our own shots, and just all that good stuff. So what I want to do now is just let's talk about the lows and the highs. I don't want to, because everyone pitched like it's just something like Disney World, just a beautiful world. But before you can reach your high moments, there's some low stuff. So I want to just pass, and whoever, you can just jump in, whoever wants to, but talk about the low moments and how you overcame that and turned that into something that was positive.
Well, here's what I'll say, and this game is full of lows and highs. You know, on a good day, I'll do $20,000 in an hour, and I've done that on more than one occasion. Or I'll do, you know, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on one webinar, for hanging out for an hour, and that's a high, right? That's a great high. It's the kind of stuff that you see headlines about. The reality is that it's a lot of work to get there, and sometimes that work is hard. What I will say is this: if you are struggling in this game at all, the key, somebody was just talking to me about this yesterday, and what I said to them was, your vision has to be big enough. Your vision of what you want out of your life has to be big enough to overcome the trials and the frustrations that are going to be associated with you reaching your goal sometimes. So you understand that sometimes life is going to punch you in the face, and you want to go do big things. You want to achieve huge things in your life. Well, you know, it's cliche, but if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. The key to not letting it get the best of you is to make sure that your vision for what you want in your life is so big that whatever quote-unquote bad stuff, and I don't like using the word bad, but whatever happens that is an unintended result, or a result that you don't want, sorry, that result is minuscule. The badness, and I don't like that word, that's why I'll put it in quotes, of that result is minuscule compared to the grandiose vision that you have for yourself and you have for your life. So that's what I would say, because a lot of times you're gonna strike out a lot more times than you hit the ball. So.
Sing it. Yeah, I totally agree. Like one of the biggest advice that I give to all entrepreneurs is learn to dance with your demons. You know what I mean? Because all your stuff is going to come up. You know, being seen and falling flat on your face publicly. Usually we do this in public, right? So we always like he was just saying. We always hear about all the successes. Like, oh, it's all Care Bears, rainbows, and sunshine to do a $60,000 webinar, but nobody knows what it took to get to that point. And how many times you had to be like one sale, and that kind of stuff. So you just got to learn to dance with that stuff and persevere because, I totally, that's why I call it dance with your demons. Learn to dance with your demons because everything is going to come up and you're going to have to face it at some point, and just to keep on pushing through it when it does. And I think we could all agree that we've all fallen really flat on our face more than once. The old saying, fall down 8, get up 9. So you just got to keep pushing and don't beat yourself up when you don't get these big $60,000 webinars. You just go like, all right, that sucked. Okay, I got to learn from that mistake. All right, now let me tweak this, retry it, tweak it, and don't give up. That's the biggest thing. Is just don't give up.
Yeah. It's like I'm sorry. It was like Brandy said. We all see the rainbows and the sunshines and the lollipops. Nobody does a sales letter where it says, "Discover how I busted my ass, fell flat on my face." And file for bankruptcy over the course of 7 years, and yada, 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 yada. I mean, I don't think I've ever written a sales letter. I filed for bankruptcy when I was 23. I don't think I've ever written a sales letter that started off, discover how I was $40,000 in debt at the age of 23, filed for bankruptcy, and curled up in a fetal position crying on the bathroom floor at my mother's house because of trying to make money in an online business. I don't think I've ever been like, hey, this is my headline. But that's the truth.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's going to be my new headline in my new sales letter. I'm totally going to say that. Like, here, I was laying in bed watching Vampire Diaries for 5 days straight because I couldn't get my ass out of bed. Yay.
And it's great, honestly, and I say this, and I hope this comes across the right way. Whenever, especially when it's somebody that I look up to or somebody that I respect in this industry, whenever they tell me about the shit that they're going through, I feel so good because I'm like, oh, you go through it too? Oh, God, I'm not alone. Thank you.
I know. That's like the best thing about masterminds because, I'm hanging out with all these, the ballers in our industry, like the top 1%. And when I hear, how they had to, just had lost their butt and, were laying in bed, I was like, oh, you too? I thought I was the only loser out there. I thought you guys just kind of boom, wrote a sales letter and made $3 million. Yeah. So there you go.
What about you, Tegan? You sound like you got an amazing story. So talk about the lows and highs.
Lows and highs. I don't tend to look at things in terms of lows and highs. The way I choose to look at things are first attempts in trying and results from that first attempt in trying and then taking that and optimizing it. A recent thing that's happened is I tried to get into the product launch game. I was ill prepared, shall we say. I mean, I knew I had the information, but I was ill prepared because nobody knew my name, nobody knew what I was about, nobody knew my product. So, and I'm quite an introverted person. I know that's not what's going to come across now, but I am quite introverted, and I found it really, really difficult to strike up conversations and try and approach affiliates. So whenever it came time to push the button to go live, I didn't really have any affiliates. People that had promised to promote, they were all disappearing. And I just said, oh, F it. I'm going to do it myself and get the experience so that whenever I want to do this again, I know exactly what not to do. So I pushed the button. I think that it was a WSO. Pushed the button, and someone who just happened on the forum, they're chatting to me and saying, "Oh, I just saw you just launched a WSO." I'm like, "Yeah, what do you think of it?" So "Oh, I like where you're going with it, but there's a few things I would change." And then I felt myself getting a little bit angry because I invested so much time and so much effort, and who the hell was this person to come around and tell me that I should change what I was doing? But I calmed myself down. I listened to what she had to say. Whenever I calmed down, I realized she was making very, very valid points because the formatting on the Warrior Forum hadn't formatted properly, so I had to go back and change that. And then after that, I changed it. I went back to her. She gave me feedback. And then she said, "Oh, let me pick up the product and see what it's like." And I said, "Cool." He went to pick up the product. She came back to me saying, "Oh, the buy button doesn't work." And I'm like, "What? Another thing I've got to fix." So I went, fixed that. And then she ended up buying that product. And I think that was the only sale that I made for my first product. But I don't see it as a low. Like I said, it was just it was a learning experience. So now, whenever I do another product launch, I know that I need to check and make sure everything is formatted properly or use graphics. I need to make sure my buy button is working, and then I think like the best thing I did from that was interact with that sole person that got in touch, just asking questions about what I was doing and my experiences and things like that.
Good.
I guess
And
that's all I could say.
Okay, good.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, Tega, I love that. I love that you did it. You said, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway. And because you did that, I mean, you wouldn't have met that woman. You wouldn't have gotten that feedback. You wouldn't have learned those things. So that's a great attitude to have sometimes because it's easy to say, I don't have any JVs lined up. Screw it, I'm going to not do it. It's actually easier, in my opinion, to say, screw it, I'm going to not do it. So, I mean, I got mad respect for you for launching that. I just want to say that.
Thanks for that.
That's good. And that's why I love it. It just, experience is the greatest teacher. It really is. And what I want to do is transition down to the easiest sales system review. And this is what this Hangout is all about. But at the same time, I want to just provide more value than just talk about the easiest sales system. I want people to hear people's stories. I want folks to realize that, hey, this is some real shit, all right? And, you know, we're not going to sugarcoat anything because it's not that type of party. So people that know me or know the great panelists and whatnot, you know that we're some real folks. So if you don't like it, you know, whatever, we keep on going. So with Devon, I have a great question for you. Why did you start with the idea of creating the easiest sales system? And what is it?
I don't know. So my number one goal that I'm always asking myself is, the number one thing that I'm always asking myself is, how can I create something, or let me rephrase that, it's what do I wish somebody had created when I first started in this game over a decade ago? What do I wish somebody had created for me? And so I'm always asking myself that question. And then back in December, I woke up out of my sleep at like 5:45 in the morning. I just woke up out of my sleep with this idea that was downloaded into my head by some higher power. And my background is in actually phone sales. And that's actually kind of one of the things that I enjoy doing the most is being on the phone selling. I'm really good at it. It's my bread and butter. But I came up with this idea, and if you've ever just had the answer, if you've ever been struggling with a question, and you had the answer just pop into your head in all of its completeness, it's such a great feeling, like, oh my gosh, that's it, that's the solution that I've been looking for. And it was, long story short, it was boiled down to 10 words. And the 10 words were, we close the sales, you keep the commissions. I had a sales team. I knew how to get traffic for people. I knew how to generate leads for people. But I also know that in this whole internet marketing thing, one of the things that's missing that keeps people from making sales is human-to-human interaction, is human touch. So I said, you know what, we'll provide the human touch. We'll call the lead. We'll connect with them. We'll coach them. We'll sell them. And when we do that, you make the commission. And that was the idea, or you get to keep the commission. And that was the idea that I came up with. And what I decided to do was apply it specifically to certain internet network marketing companies, Empower Network, ILN, DS Domination, Pure Leverage, companies like that were all very similar, that had a huge membership base, so that I could go to that membership base and say, hey, is it okay if I close sales for you into your downline? And then when I close sales into your downline, is it okay if I let you keep the commission? So that was the idea, and so that's what we've been working with and growing for the past 6 months or so here. Good.
Now, panelists, has anyone have any experience with the easiest sales system? And if so, what has been your feedback?
I personally haven't. I mean, I've been watching videos of Devon. Is it okay if I call you Devon, or is it?
Yeah, if you're from the UK, you can call me Devon because you're just going to. If you're from the UK or Australia, I don't even want. I'm like, you know what? Fine, it's Devon. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Like I said, I've been watching videos of you on Facebook. Like, they're really entertaining. So I was perusing Facebook like half an hour or so ago, and I saw your link for a Hangout. I just, out of interest, and just thought, let me jump on and see what this is about. So personally, I have I've got no first-hand experience of the easiest sales system, but I'm happy to learn more.
Okay.
Oh, great, yeah. Then if yeah, I don't think Brandy does her own thing. She's like the queen of Google Hangouts, and so she's got her own thing, which I love. Which I need to call her and figure out how to implement what she does in what I do, because I think that there's a lot of value that can be added. Understanding the power of personal touch. There aren't a lot of better ways to do it than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, we just everything is learning. It's just people don't realize that marketing is so broad. But I want to share my story of how I actually connected with Devon, and just my experience in the past. In the past, I always believe in human touch. My background is in personal sales, and I've been doing sales for going on 10 years. So when I actually dove into the network marketing field, I saw a great opportunity. The opportunity that I saw is that, okay, this person's not sending an email, so let me just try to find a better way. So I customized a sales funnel that included a telephone number. And when you have the telephone number field, I actually outsourced it to the Philippines. What happened was that my enrollment skyrocketed. It skyrocketed to a point I was bringing in so many people from the whole wide world, and I didn't even say really anything to them. But the drawback, though, was a little bit of gap of English because, again, they were in the Philippines. So it took maybe 2 to 3 weeks to train them, and then I had to train them how to close and whatnot. So that took more time. But at the same time, I made some really good money without killing myself. So I actually reached out to Devon through a mutual friend, Rodney Burton from the basement, my guy out of Maryland, and Devon and I, we just hit it off. And the awesome thing about him is that he's approachable, and I went through the whole process without even reaching him. So I filled out an application. A lovely agent gave me a call right back. And one thing about being in Atlanta, Georgia, is Southern hospitality. They were just so nice. And then I reached back to Devon, and I said, hey, look here. I have a massive team, and I need your service right now. He said, Brian, I'm in the process of moving right now. I heard things about the island, but I really just don't know. But he said, okay, and I had Rodney call him too, because I really wanted him and his team, because I share the same vision he did. But the key is that when you have the human touch to it, and we have folks calling, and if folks call and you see an email, you're going to open that bad boy up. And just little in like 2 to 3 weeks, it has grown my team to really about 23, 24 people right now, and we're just kicking up the start. And I'm telling people this: I did not market at all, really, because folks know me. I will have about 100 right now. But the key is that when you put in the human touch, when you got a U.S.-based company, and also their specialty is in direct sales, it is a win-win situation. So that's my story, my testimony of Devon's crew, and they awesome. They all that plus more. Does anybody want to have any questions, panelists, or Devon, you want to add on to it?
No, I just want to tell you thanks. I appreciate the thing about Brian and even this hangout that we're doing right now is that the reason I responded so well is because like there's a book, one of my favorite books. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read it. It's called The Go-Giver. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read that or not. If not, go get it. Gogiver. It's in my top 5 books that you got to read. It's a real short read as well. That book is all about just adding value to other people's lives without the expectation of anything in return. How can you add value? How can you add value? And Brian came from just such a place of service, of wanting to add value, that I had mad respect for him. And so I was like, man, this dude keeps adding value. I'm gonna just anybody who's willing to add this much value, I'm gonna, that's and is excited about doing so. I'm gonna respond positively to that, and I'm gonna take notes, and I'm gonna look at somebody like Brian, and I'm like, how can I adopt more of that in my own personality and in my own day-to-day interactions with others. So that's why we're so willing to work with you, just because you came from a place of giving, and I appreciate that.
Hey man, kudos, man. It just we gel well together. We share the same beliefs, and You know, we just do business the right way. So this kudos to you. So I have a list of some questions from my friends from Facebook, and I said, hey, I'm going to interview Devon. And one guy said, can he get an autographed T-shirt in your hat?
This hat is famous. I actually have hair. I just like wearing my Dolphins hat when I'm on.
So my friend asked, one of my friends said, how does it work? How does an easy sales system work from the beginning to the end?
Well, the way it works is real simple. Number one, we do the setup. Or let me back up. Number one, assuming that you're a part of a particular network marketing company that we know how to sell for, you can sign up for the service. Service is $97 a month flat fee. If you want us to set up your funnel for you, which consists of an opt-in page and an application page, we can do all that setup for you. So even if you have no clue what you're doing, and you're like, I just fell off the turnip truck last night, and I want you guys to set it up for me, we can set it up for you. Next thing you need is traffic. We have done for you traffic. You can actually log into your members area, click on a button, decide how much traffic you want, order it like you were ordering a pizza. We'll send the traffic through your funnel for you. People opt in, they get onto your email list. Because as everybody on this call knows, the most important thing you got to do is build your list, right? You got to start building that following, building that tribe, building that email list. Once somebody opts into your list, the next thing we do is we say, hey, are you really, really serious about making money online? We have them fill out an application form. If they're serious, my sales team calls them. We tell them about your organization, your company, your MLM company. We stick them in your downline, and then we sign them up for our services. And when we stick them into your downline, you get to keep all of the commissions. So hence my little moniker, or my motto: we close the sales, you keep all the commissions. So we can close a $500 sale for you or something like that, and congratulations, you get to keep all of that. So the idea was to make it an irresistible offer. The idea was to make it, wow, you're really going to do all of that for me for just that little where's the catch? And so yeah, that's what we've done. So that's how it works.
Good. Next question that I have for one of my friends. If I were to join, as one of my friends said, is that if I were to join, will there be a weekly training provided by you or your team?
Actually, bi-weekly. We do sales calls. We do training calls every two weeks. Sometimes we have special guests on those calls. Brandy's going to get invited to talk about Google Hangouts. Tega's going to get invited because Tega's going to talk to us about that attitude and how he puts things. He doesn't look at them as good or bad or failures. He looks at them as results. And Tega's going to get to talk about, hey, I was doing a launch and nobody signed up for it, but I did the launch anyway, which is so awesome.
I'll be more than happy to. I'll be more than happy
to. So we have guests because I don't claim to know everything. Matter of fact, I will be the first one to brag about how little I know. All right, with regard to this whole marketing thing. When you talk about like sales and dancing that have nothing to do with each other, then I'm gangster. Those are my. If you want to talk about being loud on stage and flirting with women and lap dancing on them and phone sales, I'm your boy. I'm your dog. Let's do it all day long. But if you want to talk to me about tracking or conversion or Google Hangouts, if you want to talk to me about launching WSOs, if you want to talk to me about Facebook traffic, I don't know how any of that stuff works. So I say all that to say that the point of Easy Sales System is to say, hey, here's the foundation, right? You're going to need opt-in page. You're going to need application page. You're going to need this funnel. You're going to need done-for-you traffic, and you're going to need sales team working for you. But on top of that, my goal is to help you become an independent marketer. My goal is to provide you with the tools and the training and the resources and introduce you to people, but provide you with the tools, training, and resources that you need so that you can become independent, so that you can really take your business into the direction that you want to take it. Because the reality is that in order for you to actually make a big impact in this game and get to your goals, you're going to have to. You are that X factor, right? You are that X factor. If you look at the people in this industry who are really successful, they've put their own stamp on things, right? It's not just about you using my system. My system is just a tool to give you a leg up and to give you an unfair advantage with regard to accelerating your own success. But to go back, and I say all that to answer your question, we do calls every 2 weeks, but we also have a Facebook group that's private where we are there for each other and we help each other out and all that good stuff. So you're not alone.
Good, good, good.
Hey, Devon, is this just for MLMers or is this for any internet marketer?
It's just
like, I'm all like,
I know.
I'm like, sign me up. Sign me up. What are you talking about?
You have to be in one of a handful of MLMs that we do this for, because the sales team actually has to be knowledgeable enough to know what the heck we're selling for you, right? So, you know, one of the things that I've had a lot of internet marketers ask me is to create a sales floor that sells their higher ticket products.
Yeah, I definitely see a niche for that, because that's like that's the buzzword in internet marketing right now is high-end consulting, right? Getting a sales team together to close your high-end consulting and moving them through the funnel to get them to that process. I mean, that's the big thing right now in that space. Yeah, you totally. Yeah, I'd sign up if you did that.
Okay. Yeah, I've been kicking that. I've been kicking that around just from the. But in order to do it correctly, like I can't just be like, and this is the great thing. This is why we did easiest sales system the way that we did is, and this just goes to say, I didn't say, hey, if everybody who, you know, it doesn't matter what company you're in, you can use my services, because then when we get on the phone, I can't speak eloquently about your company.
Right.
And the same thing with regard to, you know, doing this for internet marketers who have higher end services. I can't just say, hey, everybody who wants me to sell your stuff, let me know, because, you know, one of my sales guys gets on the phone and was like, hey, have you heard about Brandy's advanced Google Hangouts trading? Yeah, well, it's really awesome, so you should do it. Yeah. And if that's our sales, well, then that's not good.
Yeah. So. I love it. Yeah. Well, God, it sounds fantastic, and I know, like, especially in the MLM space, right? Isn't that like the biggest issue that a lot of, like, when they first come in, they really don't even know how to engage with their people, much less, you know, they can't just do like invite all your friends and family over, and that model's pretty much dead. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm talking to a lot of people in that space, and so that's really the biggest desire. So this is brilliant. I love this. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking of all the people I could refer you to now at this point.
Yeah, it's awesome because, and I told Devon about this, is everyone has when you get to that top level, you have an assistant, and I tell people this, that in the beginning you have to grind, you have to just build your business and whatnot. But the key is this: and think about this: if I want to bring in my wife, and she is not the sales type, I love her dearly, but she makes a lot of money. She can use the easy sales system to build her team. But what will happen if she turn around and like, man, I made $1,000 this month? She then will say, okay, let me dive into more of this marketing and let me use my personality to find another marketing on top of that. And I tell people that's how you got to look at it, to use this as a way to give you more time to dive in to be a better student. And when you start making more money, you start outsourcing more. You want to blog and get your stuff ranked on Google, guess what? You hire somebody else to do that for you. If you want to rank your YouTubes and whatnot, go ahead and outsource that. So the key is like this. They say, well, Brian, you act like it's a pyramid. It's corporate America. You are now your own independent CEO, and then you got everybody underneath you doing your work. You bringing in the good money, you sprinkling them with a little bit of money here and there. Sorry, it's corporate America. So that's why I love this business.
that's something that people coming into marketing don't tend to get as a whole. Being in the product launch space and like working with WSOs and info products, I think last time I checked, there's something stupid like 100 products a day. Even if you niche it down, there's going to be at least 3 or 4 products a day coming out in the niche that you're working in. So the best way for you to actually get success and build up success is learn the basics, apply the basics. Once you've learned it and applied it and you've got results from it, then you can then bring someone else and say, right, if you do this for me, I can give you this much. Or give you a percentage of what you're bringing in. Because then you're freeing your time to then go back into the marketplace, learn more, so that you're not stunted and then your growth isn't stopped by all the stuff that just keeps being poured into the top of the marketing funnel or the top of the knowledge funnel, whatever you want to label it. I think, anyway.
That's a good point. Excellent point. Excellent point. Anyone else want to chime in?
Hey, David, how are you?
Yeah, there you go. I was like, hey, what about the other two people that are in here? Maybe we say hi to them. Because it'll become the Devon and Brandy show pretty quickly. We've already agreed. We have a plan for the next time we see each other at an event on stage. We got our dance laid out already. So.
Right. It's been a year.
No, not quite. Almost.
Not
We're
quite,
coming up
not
on a year.
quite. Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
All right, I got a funny, and I don't want to curse too much. I'm trying to be on my best behavior, but I got a text message from my friend that is listening. He said, "Can he sit on his ass and do nothing and make money in your program?"
I'm good, but I'm not that good. Like my shit is automated, but I'm not that good. Like if I could figure out how to create something where I could just sit on my own ass and do nothing, I'd have created that by now. Here's what I'll say. You give two people the same system, you're going to get two different results. If they both got the same system, then the difference in the equation was not the system, it was the individual, it was the person. In business, in life, what you put into things is what you will get out. So if you want to sit on your ass and do nothing, you will sit on your ass and get nothing. And I don't care how awesome my system is, the person who actually takes responsibility for their own business, the person who actually emails their list. Yeah, I may have done the setup for you. Yes, my team may have driven the traffic for you. Yeah, we may have put, X hundred people on your list. And heck, we may have even made you your first sale and put somebody in your downline for you while you were sleeping or while you were at work. And that's all fine and dandy. That's what we're here to do. However, if I do that for two people, the one who actually says, you know what, how can I add more of myself to this business? What can I do to be a better marketer? Hey, I've got this blog. Can I email my list a video and teach them some stuff, right? Or how can I get on Google Hangouts with my list? Or whatever they want to do to add value and just add their own awesomeness to the business, the more successful you're going to be. That came out kind of funky, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. Short answer to the question is no, you can't sit on your ass and do nothing.
Good.
But the second you figure out how, let me know.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you'd have $1 billion product right there.
I would. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a product called Sit on Your Ass and Do Nothing, and it'll be what's called blind sales copy. You guys know what blind, if anybody's listening does not know what blind sales copy is, it's where you just write and allude to what it is, but you don't actually say what it is, but like, this is so powerful, so awesome, so automated. And I just figure I'll just sell a bunch of those, and then the refund rate will be at 50%, but I'll just keep 50% for myself. So.
I love it.
Yes, on the add-on to it?
No, I was just saying I'm very good at writing blind sales copy. So whenever you got that lined up, you need someone to write the copy. I'd be happy to throw my name in the hat there for you.
I love you, Tega. I love your story. I love your attitude. I love your mindset. You're a friggin' rock star.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, here's a funny thing, Tega, and this is why doing shit matters, by the way. This is why you can't sit on your ass and do nothing. Right? Tega just happens to be sitting here. He sees something, right? Here's the thing. Now I know Tega's name. If I see Tega launching a WSO, I am now 1,000 times more likely to sit there and say, I know that guy. You know what? I'm going to mail out for his WSO just because he hung out on this Google Hangout. That's the kind of shit that happens. Just because you're here, hang out on the Google Hangout, now if I see you do a WSO, I'm actually going to promote.
Yep.
That makes me very happy. That makes me very, very happy. I'm glad to hear that, and I appreciate any support. But like I say, I want to learn and I want to interact as much. So I wouldn't say forcing myself. I'm trying to unlearn. Like being an introvert, because being an introvert, it's all well and good whereby you can take time and recharge by yourself, but unless you actually go out and make connections, as you so astutely said, then the chances of you succeeding are slim to none. What is it? if you keep doing what you've always done, you keep getting what you've always gotten. I've always been an introvert, and that's gotten me where I was, and I want to change that. So I've got to go out there, pound the pavement, the digital pavement, anyway. So.
Well, you know, I'll say this, Tega. I'm an introvert by nature. Most people don't realize that about me, and that's why I love things like this, because it's a small, controlled group. And,
Yep.
well, I know you're not. I know you're not an introvert, but yeah,
Well,
I'm an introvert.
I don't believe that you are either, so whatever.
Yeah, I know. Nobody ever believes that. I developed the skills of extrovert because it's the nature of our beast to have to be extroverted. But like my happy space is stage and video. And so those two work for me as an introvert because it doesn't take so much out of me, right? So just embrace that, you know, like doing video, doing Hangouts are great ways to interact without having to be exhausted from interacting. So those are my two happy places, is speaking on stage and then doing video, because it doesn't take as much out of me. When I go to an event, you know, and it's like a 3 or 4 day event, I'm in bed for 2 days afterward. It takes me a while to recoup from that. So, you know, just rock your introvert self. And I think they've done a study, I don't know if it's scientific or not or proven, but I think it's probably like 70% of internet marketers are introverts by nature. Like there's some high number of that. And look, he's going to have the document right there.
No, that's a book that my girlfriend got me. You probably can't see it because the name of the book is like in white. It's called Quiet by Susan Cain. It's about, well, I'll read what it says. The power of introverts in a world that can't stop talking. Something about that title just, it caught my attention, and I just thought, well, I am a quiet person by nature. I can read that and like pick up some skills and realize that just because I'm introvert, I don't have to let that stop me from actually growing as a person or stop me from enjoying the kind of life I want to enjoy. So that's where some of my ideas have come from, in that I have to learn to come out of my shell. It's okay to be in my shell, but I have to learn to come out of my shell every once in a while, and then when I've had enough, just go back into my shell again. So
that's what I do. I call it caving up. I'll put myself out there and then I go cave up, and I put myself out there and I go cave up. So, you know, I lock myself in a cave basically and want no contact with anyone. So yeah. And then, like, so going back to, like, I guess really the topic of the conversation is the, what is it called? Like, easiest business system ever? Wait, say it.
Easiest sales system review.
Easiest sales system. So it'd be ideal for me is like that. Like, I don't do like the phone sales. So for somebody like me, like doing something like that would be a dream come true. Like, I don't have to talk to people all day long. Then that would be perfect. So yeah, that would be ideal. Yeah. All right, I'm muting myself again because I'll take over this show. It'll become the Brandy shit show pretty quickly, so I'm going to mute myself.
But Brandy, everybody has really great points, and I'm going to tell you why. The thing is that marketing, and let's talk about sports. All right, let's talk about football. Marketing is a different type of playbook. All right, so you need to find the right program to fit your personality. For me, I'm a hunter. So I can go on Facebook and talk to people one-on-one and all that stuff, and that's just that's how I'm coded. All right? Brandy, you are awesome on video. Guess what? Share what you learned on Hangouts and whatnot. Devon just dropped the bomb. Since he just met with Tanger, guess what? He come up with a product, and now he said, okay, if I see that, then I want to take it and promote it. This business is all about sharing your story, telling people your why, your DNA. That's the truth. And then from there, then you show them the opportunity. Because guess what? If someone sees this Hangout that's on your list, it was like, damn, like this really hit home. Okay, next email, I see it. And it's not all about join here, we make this money, no, this is some real stuff. And people are going to realize good shit from bullshit, all right? And that's how it is. And that's why I tell this business is that, and I tell people in this business when I consult them and whatnot, find your style. Find your marketing. You like Twitter. You like Google Hangout. You like all this stuff. Find whatever you want, but only stick to one. And when you stick to one, master it. Know it inside and out. If I were to put somebody on a Hangout and say, hey, Devon, talk about like using the telephones or whatever. Or Brandon, talk about doing a Google Hangout. Talk about how you can launch your own product. Because if you are a master of one with the easiest sales system on the back end, it's a win-win situation. And then add one more to it, and that's all you need in this business. Everything else you just outsource because you should be bringing that money so that you can hire other folks. And that's just another story. But that's all I got to say. So everyone, anyone want to have their closing remarks?
You know what? I just want to say that I enjoyed this. This was a fun break from my normal day, because I don't do Google Hangouts. Again, I need to actually start doing them so Brandy doesn't help me down and slap me across the face. I love that, Brian. Brian, I want to thank you for actually just taking the time out of your day and thinking enough of me to invite. Just send me an invite, ask me if I want to do this with you, and your point, real quick, I want to address is beyond valid. You don't have to be an expert at everything, right? Don't be an expert at everything. People are like, Devon, I need to learn all this different stuff. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't need to learn all this different stuff. That's nonsense. Devon, there's 39 ways to drive traffic. I need to learn them all. Good luck. Happy birthday. You do your thing if you feel like you need to learn them all. You have fun with that. All right, you can get straight gangster results by being really, really good at one thing. Brandy is living proof of that, right? When I go to seminars, they're like, Devon, talk to me about phone sales. That's what they say. Talk to me about phone sales. When Brandy goes to seminars, they say, Brandy, talk to me about Hangouts. That's what I would suggest you guys do. You focus on. You can have the easiest sales system if this works with your business. Have this as one. Have this as a pillar, but just focus like Brian said. Man, you couldn't be more right. Focus on one thing.
I'm gonna expand on that too, because like there was a time and a place where we, like back in the day, where they'd say your strengths, but everybody be focusing on their weaknesses, right? I mean, it's seriously, like whatever you're strongest at, friggin' rock that and pay somebody else to do the rest.
Exactly.
I mean, that's master what you know and don't stress the rest, because you just get overwhelmed and you get analysis paralysis, and like with social media, like, oh, I got to learn Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and like, no, like pick one, master it, get a system in place, outsource. Pick, like do what you're good at and screw the rest. I mean, I'm a firm believer in that. So yeah. Yeah, and phone sales aren't my thing, so yeah, I'm heading your way too, brother.
Awesome.
Take it, any closing remarks before we close?
I'd just say it's been great chatting to everyone. I mean, I've learned about a possible tool I could use in the future, so there's the benefit of that there. I would like to think I've made there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 people in the room, and I think I like to think I've made 7 new friends, even though 3 of them didn't really say anything. It's been great to interact. It's been great to come out my cave, as Brandy would say. So yeah, I think in closing, that's all I got to say. Thank you very much for organizing it. Thank you very much for letting me speak and share my story, and thank you very much for your feedback as well. It's greatly appreciated.
Awesome.
Good. All right, everybody. Well, this just concludes an Easy Sales System review plus some more stuff. And thank you for our surprise guests and all the YouTube stuff. So I'm going to share this link to everybody, to my list and all the social media. You will connect with me on my Facebook stuff. And that just concludes everybody, everyone else. So take care. God bless. And thanks again, everyone, for your time. We're out.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Peace.